So after two straight butt kickings in Edmonton, the Ottawa Senators find a way to beat a team who, is kind of struggling right now, but let's be honest, they still beat a very good Toronto Maple Leafs team last night. First, let's get to some lineup notes. Matt Murray was slated to start this game in net for Ottawa, but he would get injured, or he had a nagging injury and he wanted to see how it would go in the warm-up. It wasn't good after a couple drills, apparently, so he comes out of the net. Joey Daccord comes in at an attempt to get his first NHL win, which he eventually would in this one. So the Sens want to get off to a fast start, and they do exactly that. 6:06 into the first period, Brady Kaczuk scores his 11th of the season. It's unassisted. It was kind of a turnover type play by the Toronto Maple Leafs there, and he slides one by Michael Hutchinson, who was in net, by the way, for the Leafs in this game. And for Hutchinson, that's one he'd probably like to have back. But nonetheless, it was a decent shot by Kaczuk, but like I said, Hutchinson probably wants that one back. And then just 7 seconds later, Ryan Dzingel would score right away to make it 2-0 Sens, assisted by Clark Bishop and Mike Riley. Dzingel's played very well in his second tenure here in Ottawa. And Clark Bishop, he picks up an assist on that play. I just want to say about him, he wasn't super noticeable in his limited action yesterday, but I thought he was good. He did a lot of good little things right, and He was out there, creating speed for his team, forcing turnovers on the Leafs, getting the puck in deep. He looks like a good skater too, and the Sens do need to, pick up their team speed, I believe, so he adds some of that. I think that's going to really bode well for Ottawa in the future. 11:38 into the first period, Zach Hyman would score to cut the lead in half, assisted by Austin Matthews and Morgan Riley, so their Riley gets an assist as well. And Austin Matthews, him picking up an assist on that play, it's not your traditional Austin Matthews flash and dash type of assist. It was more of a hard-working, use your big body, take it to the net type of assist, which you don't see from Matthews very often, despite being a big body. But he really used it to his advantage on this play, as Josh Norris was trying everything he could to fend him off, bless his heart. But you could really see the size and strength of Austin Matthews on display at that point in time. And for Matthews, he really showed on that play as well that if he wants to add that physical, big body element into his game, that's going to make him even better than what he already is. Just want to backtrack a little bit. After that 2-0 goal that Ryan Dzingel scored, that would be it for Michael Hutchinson. He would get the boot right away. Sheldon Keefe not messing around, just 6:13 into the first period. Hutchinson's out. Frederik Andersen comes in, so he really doesn't get much of a rest at all. It's almost like he had to play 2 full games back-to-back because he only had 6 minutes of rest in this one. So Sens are going into the second period, up 2-1. 5 minutes into the second, on the power play, Drake Batherson would score his 10th of the season, assisted by Tim Stützle and Brady Kaczuk. But Tim Stützle totally stole the show on this goal, even though Batherson scored. What a pass. I still can't get over it. What a backhand sauce pass over to Batherson, who didn't really one-time it because he didn't slap it, but he caught it and released it all in one motion with a sort of a sweeping type of wrist shot. It was a nice shot by him, but what a pass by Tim Stützle. I don't think he's ever going to be an elite goal scorer. He's got a good release on his shot, but not maybe an elite one, Stützle. But he's definitely going to be an elite playmaker, and I think we're already seeing that at this young of an age for him. And Batherson wouldn't be done there, as just 53 seconds later, at 5-on-5, he would score his second of the game, his 11th of the season, assisted by Wolanin and Tierney. And for Batherson, it was more of a hard-working type of goal. He was battling in front of the net with Jake Muzzin. He finds the loose puck, pops it home past Frederik Andersen to make it 4-1 Ottawa, and the Sens look totally in control at this point. That second period, I thought the Sens, they kind of got into a bit of a run-and-gun type of game almost with the Leafs after they got up 4-1, and I'm never comfortable when the Sens play that way against anyone, but especially against Toronto. And, I want to just point out Austin Matthews, even though he had 1 assist in this game, I thought he was pretty quiet. The Sens did a really good job of limiting his time and space, contesting every inch of ice he was standing on pretty much. And for Matthews, they just didn't let him roam around as easy. He did have one pretty good look in the second period there. He came walking right down the slot with the puck. He did a nice deke around a guy there, and he blew it wide, fortunately. But they did a much better job of covering Matthews in this game. And they didn't give him free ice to roam, like I said, like they did in that 3-game set in Toronto back in the middle of February, where he just ran wild on them. And that's how the Sens have to play against good players. They have to limit their time and space. You could tell guys were making a point of watching Matthews. You'd always see the guy that had him was always looking, where is he on the ice? And that's what you have to have, situational awareness. And you have to know who you're on the ice with, and you have to know, especially when Austin Matthews is on the ice, and the Sens did a good job of that last night. So Ottawa's up 4-1 heading into the third, and all I could think is, well, man, I hope they don't do what, Toronto did back in February where they blew the lead to the Sens there. I hope the Sens don't do the same here. And things were looking really good for Ottawa. Toronto didn't have a whole lot going on. The Leafs had a few good shifts in Ottawa's zone. I thought for the most part the Sens kind of held them to the outside. Decord was really good in this game too when he had to be. And then 6.5 minutes left. The Leafs decide to pull the goalie. And things are looking, good for Ottawa at that point. So Leafs pull the goalie down by 3. They got nothing to lose here. And man, they were just all over the Sens. Eventually that would lead to a Zach Hyman goal with 5:20 left in the third period to cut the lead in half. And yeah, I was starting to panic a little bit after the Leafs scored that goal, because it's like, well, I don't know. But the only thing I could think of was Columbus and Toronto back in August in the bubble, where the Leafs pulled the goalie with like 4.5 minutes left down by 3, and they came back to tie it up. And that's all I could think in my head at this point. Then Brady Kaczuk has the whole empty net when it's 4-2, and he blows it wide over the top of the net. And I was thinking, oh my goodness, like that, the game should be put away at that point. So that gives Toronto life. They stay alive. And I just want to mention there was this really interesting play that Toronto did where they put Frederik Andersen back in net while the play was going on. And I've heard teams putting their goalie back in net when a whistle goes or something like that, but they put him back in net while the play is going on. Let me know what you think in the comment section below on that. Is that the first time you've ever seen that? Because that's definitely the first time I've ever seen a team do that. And the reason why they did it is because the Austin Matthews line was getting tired. They come off the ice. They didn't want to really, risk having the goalie pulled with maybe somewhat of their lesser players on the ice, like a Jason Spezza or Pierre Engvall or someone like that. So a really smart move by Sheldon Keefe, and a really risky one too, as you could get guys mixed up and cost yourself a too many men on the ice penalty. So with the Matthews group well rested, John Tavares would score to get within 1 with 2:12 left in the third, assisted by Marner and Riley. I initially thought Nylander batted it in, but you know what? It ended up being Tavares' goal, and I really don't care who scored for the Leafs, to be honest with you. All I was thinking is, oh no, the Sens went from looking like they were in control of this game, they were going to take it home with a good solid defensive effort, and all of a sudden they are in one here, down, or just up by 1, I should say. And things are looking pretty hairy for them at this point, and all I could think again was just Columbus and Toronto in the bubble, and the Sens were just, I don't know, I thought for sure they were going to blow this game and really blow what could be a great moment for Joey Decord. But somehow, some way, the Sens hold the Leafs off the board with the extra attacker that Toronto had. With 2:12 to go, the final 2 minutes and 12 seconds of that game, they hold the Leafs off the board. Sens win. Joey Decord wins his first NHL game that he's got a win in. His first NHL win, I should say, because he's played before. First NHL win for him. Man, that feels good. Decord seems like such a great guy, and I'm so happy for him to get that win. And just a little interesting fact about Decord, that was Brian Murray's last ever draft pick as GM. So thank you to the late Brian Murray. God bless his soul. I'm really going to have to go back and look at that final 2:12 because it was just all a blur to me. I was just, when you're in the heat of the game, even as a fan and you're watching it, you just kind of forget what goes on sometimes in some really heated moments and some really, trying, stressful type of moments. But I'm going to have to go back and look at that final 2:12 and see how the heck did the Ottawa Senators avoid a complete, utter, repulsive finish to a game. They avoid that, they do it the right way and hang on to win. But I will say this, their 6-on-5 play does need some work. They haven't been in too many prolonged situations like that this year, so they might want to work on that in practice here going forward. So let me all know what you think in the comment section below about this game and the Sens and their victory, and Decord and getting his first NHL win. And just their overall play I thought was good. That final 6.5 minutes, they made it a lot closer than what it had to be, but that's kind of the Ottawa way of doing things, always making life more difficult for yourselves than you have to. But fortunately, they do find a way to get a win in this one. Next up, they'll be taking on the Vancouver Canucks tonight, so hopefully they can get some revenge on Vancouver after, them getting beat up pretty good by the Canucks back in the middle of January. So let me know all that and more in the comment section below. Please like and subscribe and share this video. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll talk to you again soon.